Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pat. All right. Hello, everybody.
And I'm going to mute. So,
Want to come down this end?
yeah, it might be better. You can see.
Hey, Lynn. How you feeling?
It's the floating head.
Floating head. Yeah, I got the black backdrop today. And I got a black shirt on, so I do look like a floating head. That's great. I could put a silver platter under me. I could be St. Peter.
But
There, you can sit in this chair and you can sit in your chair.
All right, I want to try to get everything started as quickly as possible. I have a 7:15 meeting, so I want to try to keep us to our usual hour
Oh, wait.
that we try to commit to. So we got a couple people hanging on. Some more in. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty. Let a few more come on. Christine, I replied to your email. Tracy told me today that she got your check, so you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. I marked you as paid, and there were a number of others, but Christine had called today. I mean, emailed me, making sure that Tracy got her check. All right, I'll give another minute before I get started with the prayer and the pledge. Okay. 16 people right now. Very good. Very good. All right, why don't we get started, and I'll admit people just for the sake of time. So we'll start as they log on. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Got my flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We have 17 people on right now, Connie, and as more people log in. I don't know how many, Pete, you're at the Manor House. How many people are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Can you list them for us real quick?
Absolutely. Sandy and Jim Finnegan,
All right.
Teresa Connors,
Okay.
Debbie and Pete, Debbie Bruno Walk, Pete Walk,
Uh-huh.
and Brenda Gray.
My old high school classmate. Okay. All right. And then, so I guess Jim is signing on his own from there. Kathy Morgan signed on, and Pinky. All right. So out of them, that's 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20. So about 26 people right now, Connie, and I'll double check the names with you. We can double check with an email later. Okay. Connie, you want to read the minutes from last meeting?
Sure. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yep.
Okay, we held a meeting on Wednesday, March 29th. It was called to order by Pete at 6 o'clock. The minutes were sent with the notice about the meeting, and so it provides the information as to all who attended that meeting. There was a treasurer's report, and that treasurer's report information is also within the minutes. If you did not receive the minutes, feel free to email me and I can send them to you. But I don't think I need to go into all the details about that. There was also a health and wellness report, buildings and grounds report, shared by Brian Conley. He had talked about numerous issues with the Manor House, and those issues are included within the minutes. They're working on a master list of work that needs to occur over the next 2 to 3 years. And so that information actually has been incorporated into the budget, which I believe is part of the agenda for this evening. There was a Luhart Marina report. The rental letters were mailed. There are some minor repairs that are needed, and those are also, the costs for those are included within the budget. The fundraising communications committee report noted that they held a meeting on February 25th. And I believe there was another meeting this past Saturday, so there will be more information about that. And there were a number of items, just reminders about various items. And Pat McGinley provided some information about the Marina redevelopment update. And the meeting concluded at 7 o'clock.
Awesome. Any changes or anything that need to be added or changed to the minutes? Anybody raise your hand if you do? No? Okay, motion to approve the minutes as presented. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
All right.
Second.
So
Second.
all right. Did you see them, Connie?
Marty and Pat?
You
Marty,
got it.
Pat, and Tracy. Marty made the motion, Pat and Tracy approved.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. All right. Just mark this down. Okay. So we're gonna have the treasurer's report, and Tracy is also gonna do the 2023 budget report from what has been worked on by the executive committee and a lot of folks. So thank you for all your efforts with that. So Tracy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. The March Treasury report, we had for our deposits, we had 14 cents in our checking account for interest. We had $12,685 in dock rentals and $735 in membership dues. Our expenses for the month was $101.02 for our electric bill, $318 for our gas bill, $160 for the sewer, $51.40 for the T-Mobile, which is the internet in the building. And that's it for the month of March expenses. Our checking account currently has $29,973.05, and our savings account has $5,956.13.
Awesome.
Taxes to be paid.
That's the monthly report. I wanted to.
Can we, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Should
Yeah.
we approve these individually?
Oh, sure.
So motion to approve the treasurer's report, the monthly report as submitted. Can I get a motion? All right, so Chip, I need a second, please. Somebody-
Mike Higgins, I'll second it.
All right, Chip and Mike Higgins. All right, so now Tracy, thanks. Sorry about that.
No problem. So just to go over the 2023 budget, Connie Kindler, Connie is our secretary, and I have been working on this for the last few months with some help from some of our board members. And so just to give you, I guess, a little information, it was decided that we we're going to use a 5% inflation rate for our 2023 projection. So what we did is we just took our 2022 actual figures from the year between our income costs and our expenses, and use that 5% interest rate as a multiplier. So without going through each individual one, I'm just going to go through what our totals came out to be. So in 2022, our actual income, our total income was $41,050.03. Our 2023 projected total income is $49,202.54. Our expenses for 2022 totaled $36,117.21. And our 2023 projected total expenses were will hopefully be $41,309.85. When we figured out our net profits, our net profit for 2022 was $4,932.82, and we are projecting our net profit for 2023 at $7,892.69. So of course, these are just based off estimates. We have included information that we receive from fundraising and our buildings and grounds committees. So up for any questions on this, if any members want to see the budget, I can email it to them.
Tracy, I emailed everybody today on the reminder email.
Okay.
The copy of your budget, and it's the last tab to the right, guys. So after the 2023 regular numbers, then Tracy has a tab that says 2023 budget. So every member on the mailing list has gotten a copy of that.
Okay, good.
Yep. Any questions on what Tracy has put out? Well, thank you very much to everybody. I know Tracy and Connie especially put a lot of hard work into that. So we really appreciate both your efforts on that and everybody on the executive committee and trustees that help with that. So motion to approve the budget is presented. All right. So I see Marty makes a motion. And I saw Brian Connolly.
I'll make a motion.
All right. There we go. And Lynn Bullock. So Marty, Brian, and Lynn, Connie. Got it? All right, cool. All right, thanks, Tracy. Okay.
Thanks. Can I just say, I just had one more thing.
Sure.
I just wanted to, just kind of a reminder. I know there's 2 mailboxes down at the Manor House, and I just wanted to kind of just remind everybody, 1 mailbox is for the water district and 1 mailbox is ours. So if you leave anything for us in there, your dues or any other kind of correspondence, ours is the mailbox that has our address. It says 581 on the side. The other one is just for your water district payments, just so they don't get mixed up.
Okay. And speaking of mailboxes, thank you, Tracy and Greg, for donating the new ones, and thanks to Sandy and Jim for installing them. Appreciate it.
I sent a note to him and he should.
And all right. And so, Connie, when you're counting too, Karen Vetter, it looks like Karen and Peggy are both on one.
That's
So,
right.
So I'm looking at 25 people online and another 6. So we're looking at 31 people present right now. Okay. Health and wellness, Peggy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. This is going to take a few minutes. I
Okay.
sent sympathy cards to Elaine Clark, her sister Jerry died.
Oh, no.
To the Ritchie family for their mother-in-law and your stepdad and sister.
Thank you
Did
for
I
that.
get that right?
Yep.
To Ron Vetter for Margaret, Jerry Davis family, to Roger and Kathy Del Giorno, who lost her brother, and then a week later, Kathy lost her mother.
Oh, no.
And that was the sympathy cards. Get well. I sent a card to John Mucci, to Marty Montgomery, Teresa Connors, Jan Silo, and guests. She had guests and everybody got COVID.
Oh.
Jerry Davis when he was in the hospital, another one to Rosanna Mucci, Chris Tierney, and Marie Hepler, and another one to Jen, has tremendous dental surgery. And we have one new homeowner, and that is at 51 Channel, and that's Barbara Belts. And that's it. But
Okay.
if I can take a moment, so I don't have to do this again. The person who made the Marina Development Papers, I want you to know that I read it from one end to the other, and I am also having all of my grown children read it so that they all know what's going on too. It was well done. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. You all done?
I'm done.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Thanks for all you do. It means a lot to everybody. It really, really does.
Oh,
And,
one
A little
thing,
bit of help.
one thing, it would help. I had somebody tell me that somebody was unhappy, they were ill and never got a card, but if nobody tells me, I don't know. So I don't know many people at the other end of the island. So if you know that somebody is in the hospital or badly sick, if they can contact me.
Okay. All right. Thank you again very
Thank
much. It does mean so much. And Len and Kathy, how you feeling? I know you guys had COVID in your house. You guys all right?
Good.
Live.
All right. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Who was that?
Okay. Building and grounds. Brian
Pete,
Connolly.
Pete,
Yes.
Pete,
Chat. Yes.
quick,
Chip.
before we go on, I know it might be a little tricky. I'm not sure if it is or not, but all the people that Peg's sending things to, yeah, you know, some of them are old friends and everything. And are we allowed to talk about why they're getting cards? I mean, like Roseanne Bucci, what is that? John, is that her? I mean, you know, I don't know, and I would like to know because I'd like to be able to send a card or a call or something like that. You know, and other people too. I mean,
I don't know if we're applying HIPAA laws or anything like that to things for privacy. Usually it's just for the sake of brevity. I'm sure, you know, we could always ask Peggy who's, you know, what specific ailments are. Like she told pretty much. Roseanne, I don't know. When I lived next door, I asked her daughter and they just said that she's going through some stuff and she had pneumonia, but she was in the hospital, but she's doing better. And, you know, John's had on and off, you know, battles with cancer. And so I'm hoping that's not off because, you know, anything's wrong with John, who am I going to borrow tools off of? So,
you know, I mean, it's you're right. The HIPAA laws are difficult, but at the same time, we're talking about neighbors and friends.
right.
And when I hear something I don't know about, I feel bad. And I'd love to know about it. So
Absolutely.
I don't know how we deal with that.
I think,
Most
Go
of
ahead.
the time, I don't know. And for privacy, I don't ask them. And a lot of times they do. I do hear from somebody what the problem is, but that's not for me to put it out on the air. That's for the people who are ill and might want the privacy.
Okay.
okay. All right. I'm sure we can find out though, if you have specific questions about folks.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Building and grounds, Brian Connolly.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We have a pretty good crew on building and grounds. We contact each other frequently via email chain. This past month, Mike Dolan and Jim Finnegan did some electrical upgrades to the property, and we're a lot closer to being finished up. They added some outlet changes, some covers over open electric boxes in the attic area for fire safety. Jim Finnegan has also volunteered. There's a frozen shutoff valve on one of the toilets in one of the two bathrooms. And he's offered to replace that. And while the water's off, the toilet in the room with the water heater does not have a shutoff valve. So at this point, if there was a problem with that toilet, we'd have to turn the water off to the building to address it. So this way, we can install a shutoff valve. If there's an issue there, we can just isolate it right to the toilet. What else? Karen Blake has volunteered to help clean up after the ceiling install.
Looks familiar to me.
There was a ceiling install about 2 weeks ago. I think it was started 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. So the old ceiling tiles were taken down, and then the the sub ceiling above that, that needed some work addressed before drywall could be installed, and then the new drywall is installed. There's the taping and the joint compound, or as people refer to it commonly as spackle, has two coats on it. When a ceiling or a wall in the bathroom or a kitchen is going to be covered with a gloss or a neutral paint, we like to do 3 coats, so it minimizes any of our sins being caught by the eye. That'll be done this Saturday. I'll get down there this Saturday and I'll finish up with that 3rd coat and wait for it and then sand it down. Now it'll be paint ready. At that point, we can use a paint crew, probably 2 or 3 people, maybe people that aren't afraid to work off a ladder to cut in. And then after the paint's done, we'll reinstall the lights and the grills for the HVAC, for the supply registers in the kitchen. Where are we? Pete has actually sent out an email today about putting up task lists for the cleanup day, where he said he would he's going to run the ramp refurbishing, and then we need another crew of 1 or 2 people, probably 2 people, to put a cover over the rear wall exhaust fan to prevent further water damage intrusion into the building. And I might be able to get to that before the cleanup day. I'm just not sure. My schedule's pretty full these days. And then there was another cleanup. Another task was where the AC compressor sits on a stand. Two of the vertical posts support nightstand or water damage, or maybe it's one of them, and they need to be replaced. So that's probably another 1 to 2 person day. Somebody with some semi-skilled labor skills can handle that. If not, we'll get through it in time. So things are moving along since our last meeting. We communicate frequently. People are getting in touch. They're doing jobs that they're comfortable and have skill in doing. We're not just going in there like the Three Stooges or the Keystone Cops and wacky racers and just going at it Harry hoping we got it right. We're trying to get everything ship shape, as it was mentioned earlier. It won't be done overnight. It'll take a little while. But what we want to focus on building and grounds is to get the things up to snuff that make money for the association. So the kitchen was a priority to get that ceiling done before the season opens up, so that the association can stay in line with making the money that they typically make. As far as that, I think that's all we have right now. And hopefully we'll have some more good stuff to report next month. So things are moving. Might not be as fast as we want, but we're moving.
Well, I think previously we'd moved at a bit of a glacial pace. So, this is actually quite impressive, and everybody really appreciates your leadership and that new ceiling and, Jim and Mike's work on the electrical. I'll be down Saturday morning and I'll be down through Wednesday morning. So, put me in, coach, on anything you might want done in those days. I'm coming down just to do work on my house. So more than willing to do work on the Manor House while I'm down there in those days. And anybody else that's down, you're welcome to help out. Any other? Yeah. So on the 15th, we'll break out in the groups to, not just do those projects on our list, but also prep the gardens. We're not going to plant. We don't plant till after Mother's Day, right, Lynn? And then, but we could prep the gardens and pull out the stuff that's going to have to be replaced, clean up around the outside, get stuff out of the attic that's a fire hazard, out of the clean out the shed. So there's a lot of stuff that can be done that aren't necessarily on the punch list of, immediate repairs, but it's definitely necessary work that, people had said there's a number of people that said, I'm not mechanically skilled, but, I can clean up and I'm willing to lift and tote and clean. So, hopefully all hands on deck, and maybe we can get the executive committee and trustees to approve some pizzas and soft drinks and stuff like that for that day, for all the help, if everybody's so inclined. Right. Anything else to add, Brian? Yeah,
That's it for me.
okay. All right. Thank
Hey,
you so
Pete.
much. Yeah, who's somebody?
It's Chip.
Hey, Chip.
I don't mean to interrupt, but while we're on this subject, Michael Dolan, who is now moving to Avalon Manor full-time, has started a handyman service. West Wind. I'll never get it right. But he'll be around the manor and other places. So I guess, is it westwind.com, Michael?
It's West Wind Home Services.
Okay. I just want to tell him, because he's done a lot of work for me in the past and we're good friends, and he is somebody you want to call if you need some help.
Well, I tell you, just go onto like All Things Avalon on Facebook, and there's people that ask for handyman every single day.
Yes, they do.
So send us your link, and we'll be sure to recommend you. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chip. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
I look forward to my children keeping you up even more.
Don't forget to send me the $10, Mike. See you later.
You got it. You got it.
Okay. Lou Hart Marina, Jim Finnegan.
Hey guys, happy spring. Pete, since you said you're going to be down Saturday through Wednesday, maybe we can get together and take care of the safe deposit box with Tracy.
Okay.
Okay, cool. For the docks, I know it's tough to believe, but April 1st is here and they will be open. I'm going to get the water turned on. The fire extinguishers will be put out. The hoses will all be attached, so they'll be ready to go. I think 10, all slips are rented out. 10 are paid for so far. That's about it for the docks. They're looking in great shape right now.
Okay. Do you need anybody to take the fire extinguishers? Do they need to be charged?
I'll look at them when I'm done this meeting. They're right sitting over there. They shouldn't, but I'll check.
Okay. If they do, I could take them this week to the place by the Court Diner.
Right. Yep.
All right.
I'll take a look.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. So we have a new events and fundraising committee that was formed a couple weeks ago, and Sandy Finnegan will be making a presentation about that now. Sandy, you available?
I am available. Thank you. I'm very, very proud and excited to announce that a fundraising communication committee has been formed. I happily accepted the nomination for chairperson for the overall committee, and Debbie Bruno will be co-chairing the communications portion so that we have cohesiveness and continuity. We have about 10 plus volunteers or so already on the committee, and we've had 2 meetings so far. So they've been working really hard to plan for the upcoming season. We have been able to finalize our calendar of events and designated chairs for each of those subcommittees. If you guys want me to run through the list of events, I can do that. Otherwise, we can just include it in the minutes and you can take a look at it. Which would you prefer?
You can run them down real quick.
Want to run them down real quick? Okay, April 15th, we have cleanup day. May 6th is Derby Day. June 17th, we're hosting a new event. It's going to be the Avalon Manor Yard Sale. More information to come on that. June 24th will be our block party. Pete, if you could get us a list of the sponsors and the contact numbers, that would be really helpful. July 22nd will be a new event. We'll have shrimp night. August 12th is the Italian dinner. August 26th, another new event. It will be a luminary event. September 16th is going to be a quizzo or game night, another new event. September 30th, we are planning a volunteer appreciation reception of some sort, whether it be a brunch or a cocktail party. October 14th is the pork dinner, and December 2nd is the Christmas party. We were able to prepare and submit a proposed budget to Connie and Tracy for executive review, which she went over. We talked about the t-shirts. Unfortunately, we weren't able to conduct the cost analysis for the proposed budget, but there was a previous vote at another meeting to cap the budget at $1,500, I believe. And we talked about all of the leftover t-shirts that we have. So one of the volunteers had a good idea to use them for like quizzo or Italian dinner and bingo to give away for prizes. We discussed the idea of creating a bulletin board for the Manor House where we can pin information such as items for sale, babysitting opportunities, calendar of events, and things of that nature. I would be willing to make and donate that if that's something that we would like to do. Also new for the committee, we have the communications portion of that, which Debbie will be in charge of. We are going to give the Facebook page an uplift, and we'll feature new events and news as it pertains to Avalon Manor. The committee discussed an idea for a sign to be placed outside that would include, like our Facebook page, for a chance to win tickets to all of our events. And we can include that on Facebook as well. We'll include the calendar of events. We have a newly formed Instagram page, if you'd like to go out and sign up for that. We're bringing back the Winds of Manor as an e-newsletter to include information like announcements, wellness updates, meeting event reminders, business highlights, jokes. We are developing a calendar of events flyer, which will go out to all the residents as we nail down all of the events. Website, we're going to need to create a website since it will not be available to the AMIA any longer. So we'll be working on that. Welcome letter. There was discussion about creating a letter that everyone could use that would be cohesive to be included in a welcome packet. We talked about Zoom to see if there was a possibility of getting a Zoom account for the AMIA so that all the committees could use it. I don't know, it would be about $149. So that's something that we can look into. So that, I mean, obviously, Pete, you know, we're not going through one account. I don't know how we can do that, but maybe somebody can help us with that. And last but not least, the pancake team leaders were invited to attend a committee meeting that was held on February 27th. And Pete Walker is going to give an update on that. And that's all we have so far. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, all.
Hold on one second before you get
Everybody
started,
mute their
Pete.
phones.
If you're not speaking, could you please mute your phones? Because we can hear TVs and things like that in the background.
Thanks, Pete, for having the meeting tonight. So we met with a pancake committee. It was Shani Sowers and Alice Smythe and myself, and we were looking at a lot of different items that affect the pancake breakfast. The first one we were looking at was online. Obviously, since Sandy alluded to a few moments ago, we're no longer going to have the website available to us, which had the PayPal links, etc. So we did a deep dive into our online orders and figured out that only equated to about 15% of our total sales for the year. It was about $1,500 minus the $100 PayPal fee, turned out to be about $1,400, which brought it down to about 14% of our total sales, which were $10,000. The cost of building it back and redoing it would negate any profits we would get from the online ordering. We would need a laptop, we would need a website, we would need new PayPal buttons, we would need all those items. So we decided that online ordering is something we would recommend we do not offer moving forward. We don't feel that we would lose 100% of the online orders that we got each week, and people would still come in. We also looked at deliveries. Deliveries were an item that we discussed as well. It was unanimous that we decided deliveries would no longer be offered for two reasons. One, we do not have many deliveries each week, might be a maximum of 5. Could be as low as none. And also from a legal standpoint, we are not insured to have someone driving their vehicle on behalf of the association to make deliveries, unless I'm unaware of that. We looked into deliveries from Seashore. Instead of having a weekly pickup, their minimum delivery is $350. I've been over to Seashore talking to them about prices on items and delivery. When we get a delivery in by 6 p.m. the day before, they will have it here for us to be delivered and put away. So we are going to meet on April 26th, do an inventory, figure out what items we need, how much we're going to need for each week, and try to get a month's worth of products. So we only need a few deliveries each year or each month. We also looked at our eggs as an item that we took a look at. Our eggs, we estimated we sell about, and I'm just averaging because I have no historical data and I'm just going off my personal information, anywhere from 45 to 50 sandwiches a week. At $5 a piece, that's $250. Those eggs are going to be going up as well as cheese and mayo and all those items. So it's going to give us a more increase in our costs and cut into our profits. Our pancakes are way more profitable. So our recommendation is that we get rid of the eggs. For one reason, we can't cook on top of the stovetop. I think that's about it that I got right now.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you for that report.
I have a couple comments.
Yeah, I have to comment on this as somebody that's had a deep involvement in the pancakes for the last 3 years. I volunteered with them for the last 6 years. No online ordering, online orders, including the events, but online orders did 39, 37 last year. Are you saying you're getting rid of PayPal buttons?
We no longer have the
Are you going to
website.
get rid of online ordering for events as well?
We no longer have a website.
Well, you do have a website. It just has to be upgraded. You have the avalon-manor.com, which Chip has underwritten, and it just needs to be freshened up. I started freshening it up. You just have to put a little time into to get it working. It's what's on the marquee.
We have manorpancakes.com, which is fully functioning with the PayPal buttons.
Right. I understand that. But, after I don't want to get into all the rigmaroles of, the formation of the committee, but obviously, I was a little upset about that meeting that we had, which not everybody was there for, but for the events committee, where everybody, told me how the process worked. I went back and looked at the bylaws. I'm supposed to appoint the committee, and then the executive committee is supposed to approve my appointments, and that's supposed to happen in the meeting after June. But, there was an initiative by people there in that meeting that, all wanted this to be run the way it is. And that's fine. And that's why I said, okay, if you want to run this and you don't want me to run this, that's fine. It gives me more time in my life. But I'm also underwriting, that manorpancakes.com. You asked if you could take it over. I said, yes. I said, I just don't want to underwrite it any longer. But online ordering made up a lot of what we did. All right. And deliveries, there were usually anywhere, like the worst I ever had was 3. The most I ever had was like 9. And, they're always like that last minute. So if people can't wake up late because they have company and have things delivered to it, I believe it'll hurt. If you get rid of eggs, that means you're getting rid of the egg sandwiches. And
Correct.
if you get rid of the egg sandwiches, that was half of our orders. Half of the orders were sandwiches. People love them, and you're going to be hurting yourselves. All the things that, people complain that I always wanted to do, you're taking away, and now that's going to hurt us financially. We want to make a goal. We have a goal of making 7,000 next year, but you're taking away opportunities for revenue.
I'm not taking it away.
Hold on.
The committee is, not me directly, the committee.
Well, the committee, all
As
right.
a
so the
recommendation,
committee-
if you want to put it to a vote, we can just put it to a vote.
Just raise the price of the sandwiches.
You could just raise the price of the sandwiches. Exactly. Everything else is going up. You raise the price to $6 instead of $5, and you still have a profitable item.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to take away the things that people have been complimenting us on and love. We did processes of elimination for, we went from bagels to the potato rolls, which people loved. They kept better. We were able to freeze them. It kept our costs down. We went from liquid eggs, which go bad, to fresh eggs, which lasted longer. We added bacon. We switched from, butterflying the sausages, which were the more expensive sausages, to the sausage patties. So that brought our cost in line. We had a 25% food cost. So
Before
even
we-
if those prices go up, we could still raise the prices, keep it.
Can I
doesn't-
just interrupt before we can continue? This is going to go on.
Well, hold on a
there-
second. You can interrupt after I'm done. Absolutely. Give me
All
my,
right,
give me my
I have
floor.
something that could
Right?
end it.
Right. But, and you can, and I welcome that.
Okay.
Insurance, if I'm driving in my car, you're indemnified from that. Plus, much in the same way that the block party, our insurance company indemnifies us, we get to have off-site events, which is what happens, and our insurance transfers and cover that. If you're delivering, I don't know, if I hit somebody in the car when I'm delivering somebody, my insurance covers that. You're not going to come after the manor for, delivering some breakfast. Half the time, I'm running them to people that are, very close to us, either to, Knob orders every week, and the Davises ordered every week, and the Gallaghers ordered, and Bill Hutchinson ordered, and every other week George ordered, and the people on channel, and the Ennises and the Pierce, and people are ordering those things, and they love the direction that we took. And it just seems a shame that because I'm not taking an active role, like we're getting rid of everything that was bringing us forward and bringing it back. 50% of the sales of these sandwiches, and you want to get rid of them. That, to me, that's a giant mistake. Giant mistake. So go ahead, Jim.
Thanks. There's just three things that we have to consider here that I think, Pete, I know there are people like them. We can raise the cost, whatever. We don't have a proper fire system here, so we're not supposed to be cooking those on that stove.
That's not true. All she said we cannot cook is bacon on the stove. She said we can cook it in the oven, but we can cook eggs on the stovetop, just nothing with grease like bacon. She doesn't
For
want
eggs, you need 3 current sinks that are dedicated for eggs.
What?
Who's saying no?
Jim, I went through with the inspector last year and she was fine with the eggs.
She's fine with the eggs. And she was fine with us using the stovetop?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we get all that in writing from the inspector?
If the inspector comes through and I took her through and she certified our kitchen.
I wasn't aware of that because I was looking into all the insurance stuff. And I knew we didn't have a proper fire system. You're not supposed to cook eggs. You're supposed to have a person who knows how to handle eggs. I just want to make sure we're not open to something if something does go wrong.
And that's fine. That's a great thing to do. But, she did, I took her through, we did all the fire inspections. She did not have an issue. She did not want bacon cooking on there. But I think, and I'm happy to bring her back. I don't want to take a lot of time. I took the fire inspectors through like 14 houses and the Avalon Manor House last year. They were very appreciative of that because they got it all done in one day. I'm not allowed to do that anymore because some of the people in my office think I'm trying to steal their rentals, which is crazy. I really don't. I want to steal their sales, not their rentals. They're stupid. But she will go through with me or you, although I know her very well, and we can get certified without an issue. And if there's an issue, then yes, we should relook at it. But I got to tell you, I had eggs every time. I never had pancakes, and that's just me. But I think there's a big mistake to get rid of the eggs.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm willing, so we should continue then because
Maybe there should be a separate meeting about this to hash it out. Rather than, because there's a couple, 2 or 3 different opinions I'm hearing here. And I think it'd be better to just have a meeting and schedule and hash it out and decide.
I agree.
I agree, Pinky. And I think that it's a waste of time to be debating this over, at a membership meeting. And could the committee bring the recommended changes back to the membership meeting next month for a vote, perhaps?
If there's a separate meeting between now and the time you need to do your decisions about the cakes.
Absolutely. We can table it till next month and we'll bring it into the next month's meeting.
Yeah. But Connie, what you're talking about is what I feel is what happened. Like the committee had a meeting, they made decisions, they brought them to us, and obviously people
I
are
said it was a
objecting.
recommendation.
Fine, that there's
I said it
different.
was a recommendation.
That's fine. That's fine, Pete. But so that's what they're doing. They're bringing their recommendations to us.
All right.
And obviously there's some objections to it.
Let's do it offline, guys.
Okay, I have a question. So,
Who said?
it's Ally.
Hey, Ally.
So with our internet package, do we have a landline available?
I had a landline that was part of my account that I was underwriting. So I was underwriting the calls that I answered, Pancake Hotline, and I had the manorpancakes.com, which I also underwrite and underwritten and produced.
So my question to you is like we, on all of our rental properties, we have what's called triple play. You get your TV, your internet, and you're required to have a landline, which no one ever uses. But if we could have a landline at the manor house, then people could call the landline order pancakes or egg sandwiches that morning. Someone
Right,
could
but
be,
the,
whoever
the,
picks up the
the
money.
internet
can
that
make
we
a pickup.
have, the internet that we have is $50 a month, and it's just internet, and we use TV services to log on to it. So it's just to get internet there. It's not, we don't have the basic cable and everything. That
So we
jacks
don't
the
have-
price up $100 a month.
So we don't have a landline.
We don't have a landline.
Okay.
Right. But like I said, a lot of things you can easily purchase one like I do that comes to a phone. It's just a matter of whose phones it's going to be to. For me, it was every Saturday, in season for the last 2 years, and I'm just not doing that anymore. So, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means that the committee's got to make it happen.
Okay.
That's all. So, okay, well, thanks for your time, guys, and everything like that. I'm going to run through the rest of this agenda real quick. The events committee, could still use some volunteers. Certainly the pancake breakfast could use some volunteers. Saturday, April 15th, again, is the grounds cleanup. Next month, in-person meetings, it'll still be hybrid. So we'll still have it on Zoom, but they will also be in the Manor House being hosted by me in the Manor House. Still, if you're not down for the season, anybody, somebody else just coming in late into the meeting. So I think that brings us to 32, Connie. Need us to check on your house. If you're still not down and you're not going to be here before Memorial Day, just let me know, and if I'm not there, I'll get somebody there. I started a membership drive, which has been, working out a little bit. I sent everybody in the email today and the other day a physical card that you can print out and share with your neighbors. There's still a lot of people, who have not paid their dues, and you got to be reminded, if you don't pay your dues, you can't vote. It was one of the things at that meeting last week where 3 people voted that didn't have voting rights. So you got to make sure you have your dues pay if you want to have your votes heard. Speed limit in Manor is 25 miles an hour. I have calls in the police department to see when we will get the electronic speed limit sign back in place. Join our Facebook group, and now apparently there's an Instagram account we have too that you can join. The treasurer position is still open, and we're going to have elections in June. And then a marina development update from Pat McGinley is the last item. On the agenda, I wrote no meeting last month. It's because I copy and paste and edit. So that wasn't true. That was from the previous month's agenda. So Pat, if you want to give us a brief update on the marina development, that would be great.
Yeah, I talked to our attorney today. He's trying to get a reason why they pulled the application. Their attorney has not returned his calls. So he's still trying to get a reason. What he did warn us was be very, very careful that this doesn't pop up mysteriously on an agenda. So neighbors close by, if you get a notice that it's on a meeting, watch the newspapers. I'm going to get Sandy to send out from our redevelopment the actual dates of the meetings. And if we could start watching 10 days before each one of those meetings. He kind of thinks they may have taken it. This may take a back seat, and they may turn their emphasis to the houses and try to do that. He's not sure. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know why. The solicitor does not have to share with him. In fact, I don't know that they even need to share with the township why they removed it. They did state they don't believe they'll refile for a couple of months. Doesn't mean that's the truth. They have every right to file for the April 11th meeting. So what I would suggest, after having the meeting that we had with Ray, with the folks that did attend that, is during the summer, they misbehave. These people continue to do whatever they damn well please. And I would just ask everyone, if you see a dumpster overflowing, if you see a fuel truck parked in the middle of the street and blocking it, if you see steel beams being dropped off in Avalon Manor being blocked, to please take a picture and send it to me. We have files. Ray has files of pictures, and there's nothing like walking into that room and having people with blown up pictures in their hands of the street being blocked. If you see your street blocked with that, for instance, that truck, I think Maria, someone sent me a picture of it being blocked, call the township and complain to them. But they're going to continue. They're going to drop their guard, and they're going to continue to be who they are. And that's only going to help us bet more, because now we're aware of what we're going to need to go and kind of pick this thing apart. And again, please don't. They're going to be able to build something. There's no one saying that we're trying to just shut them down. But if you saw the size, for instance, the restaurant, that restaurant's capable of holding 300 people. There's nothing that says they could go in and say, well, we only want an 80-place restaurant now instead of 180 or 150, whatever they were asking for. But on Saturdays, every Saturday, they could bring in, and Pete, you can attest to this, restaurants bring in tables. And all of a sudden, they go from 80 to 120 in one night. And who do we call? Right now, they're parking, blocking roads. They've got dumpsters overflowing. They've got people sandblasting things they're not supposed to on the ground. So there's a lot of things they do now because there's no one to stop them. It's only going to get worse. So that's one of our big concerns. He's going to address that if we ever get in front of these folks. We do have a traffic study engineer on payroll. We have a planner/engineer on payroll, and we have a lawyer on payroll. So these gentlemen are waiting now to see. It's a wait and see game. Ray is supposed to talk to one of their attorneys to try to get an idea. But again, they don't have to share anything. It's just professional courtesy. He knows someone in the office. He's just trying to get a heads up to see what's going on. So please, if you see anything, fences down, that house down the street by Deb and Pete, if you see the grass just overgrown, take pictures and just email them to me. So that's because the more we have unkept areas, we have dumpsters, drone footage, 24 personal watercraft docks just being dropped in the water. I mean, that's breaking all kinds of rules, but it isn't township rules. So they're going after it state-wise. Ally did a great job of looking up some repairing things, and I'm going to ask them to continue to go after that and look into that so that we'll be even more educated when it finally does come up, whether it's the houses or the marina. But please don't stop. Be diligent. Listen, please keep your ears open. If you hear anything, email me. I'm going to be out of commission. April 11th, I go in for spinal surgery. So I'm going to be out for at least a week, down and out. So Ally, I'm going to have Ray. If there's anything pressing that pops up, I'm going to have Ray contact Ally and Knob, and then they'll let you guys know. But I want to send an email out, just giving everybody the dates of the next 3 months of when each meeting will be coming up, just so we're kind of like, put it on your calendar, just kind of put it in as a reminder, like, hey, it might be, and keep the dates free. The more people we put in that room when we finally do get there, the better. And that's about it. So I think he believes that we may have scared them and maybe made them relook at themselves a little bit. Doesn't mean they're going to stop, but they probably didn't want to go in because they were probably not as prepared as they needed to be. And that's what they're doing now. They're probably going back and going to prepare themselves better. But in the meantime, we can do the same thing. So that's why I'm asking you to be diligent. If you see something that's out of place, that's not right, take a picture of it. Just send it to me. My email's out there. I'll include it again in the correspondence we send out in the next couple of days. And that's all I got.
I have a
Awesome.
question.
Go ahead, Dally.
So at this point in time, do we start going after the present owners for the conditions that they are not meeting, as far as, not parking boats 10 feet off the lines, infringing on the corners? Do we want to start becoming total nudges to everything that they're not doing? I mean, maybe you can ask Ray that. I don't know what the best way to handle that is.
I will. I'll ask you. He did say, when you see them doing something, and I actually talked to Ginny, who Chip, you were talking about the other day, because I called a couple times to try to get a hold of her just to see what their fire, quote unquote, departments. I talked to Chief McCann, really nice gentleman, by the way. And by the way, Pete, if we have extra money, I'm going to donate myself to those people, but I'm going to tell you, they're pretty nice people. But Ginny did explain the process, and that they're going to do their due diligence with the process and all that stuff. But I did mention, I said, I have a picture of a truck that unloaded, was sitting in our street for 4 or 5 hours, and the road was closed. If that place caught fire, you would not be able to get a truck down there. And the only thing she said is, people need to call the township building and let us know. So I would tell you, Ally, if you see something blatantly that's dangerous, report it. Knit-nat things, I think if we get pictures of that, and I'll get Ray to confirm this because he's going to call me tomorrow. He's trying to get an answer on another question I had. I will get you an answer on that, and then we'll talk, and I'll let people know if they, we'll put that in our email. If you see something, I would tell you if it's dangerous, call. If it's like the dumpster's overflowing, yes, we could call the township and break their chops, but I think it's better to let it, my personal thing, and I'll make sure what he thinks. But if you get a picture of that, there's nothing like going into a township and say, here's who they are. This is who these people are. They're not going to get any better. They're going to get worse. When you guys walk away, we're stuck with these type of people that believe they can do whatever they damn well please, and that's not right. So I'll ask Ray that, Ali, absolutely.
Okay, because they are right now in zone violations on every portion of that marina tract.
Okay.
So
I'll mention that to him and see
ask
what he
Ray
thinks.
whether it's a good idea to go after them on that stuff, or not.
He did say, let's let North Star flourish for a couple of months, because the more they go down there and the more area they use,
better.
The more that's on our, that's
Well,
for
that's
us
good to
right
know. That's good to know. Yep.
Right.
All right.
How you doing economically, Pat? Because I can see you putting up money that you should be putting up.
Wait, say it again, Chip, you broke up.
How are you doing economically on this whole thing?
We're getting close to the end of what we have in our bank account, but we still have a little bit left. I was going to maybe have a chat with folks later on about that, but we're okay for right now, Chip. But for the next round, we're probably going to go at least 2 meetings. We're going to need more funds.
Okay.
Can you post the proper numbers for us to call when there is a complaint, so everybody's going to the same person?
Sure, I could do that.
Okay, great.
Hey, Pat.
Yes.
Pat.
Yes, sir.
At some point, if it looks like it's going to go through, whatever they're going to be able to develop there.
Yep.
A lot of townships have had success in negotiating something for the public good instead of the developer just coming in there taking all the land. Maybe there's a fallback position of, they have to build a public playground or a dog park or donate some money to refurbish the building. At some point, there's got to be a fallback position if it gets to that point.
I've asked the attorney that, and in this type of application, if there's a give back on the township's part, that you're right, they use that as leverage to get something. But it's funny, there's not a lot of things they're asking for as give backs right now. There's a lot of they're asking to refrain from getting certain like the environmental impact survey, different things like that. But variance wise and things like that is where the township has pull. Doesn't look like they were submitting for anything. I think there was only one variance in the whole thing, and it was a very, very small, wasn't a big deal, So I know I live in Doylestown. We just had a company wanted to build a building, and they, the setbacks were wrong, so they made them donate a piece of the property. Now there's a nice park for Doylestown residents to go. He knows we're looking to do that because a lot of people have asked about that. I know. I forget. Somebody asked him the question. He didn't answer correctly, but he understands that if there's some negotiating to have done, to say, well, if we can let you have A, and to give up, and you give us something towards that. But the stuff we're talking about right now, there's not a whole lot of give and take positions to take right now that we know of. But again, we haven't got in front of them, listened to the whole presentation because they yanked it. So. But yes, he understands we want to do that. Again, I've started this whole thing by saying we're not looking to say, hey, we don't want you to do anything. This man spent $2-3 million, whatever he bought this place for. He has every right to do something. It's just we don't want it to be this monstrosity thing that he's telling me he has 95 boat slips. Well, there's 140 of them up there. I mean, those people park there. They don't all come together either. Like most, I don't know about you, but when people come to my house, they all don't drive together. There's cars overflowing everywhere. So that's our biggest concern: parking, accessibility, dropping off. I mean, imagine a food truck. Our company owns a restaurant, and I can tell you it's on River Road in Lumberville. And when they drop off, I mean, they close the whole neighborhood when they're dropping off bread, just bread. Actually, they're picking it up because it's a bakery. When they pick it up, they're there for an hour, 10 minutes. They're blocking River Road. I don't know if you know Bucks County, but it's a single little dinky road. They're blocking it. So anyway, I'll go on and on. I'll stop.
Talking about building? How many houses are they talking about building? Because if they go over
23 right now.
All right, if they go over a certain limit, then a portion of them have to become low income.
Yeah, he's already, they're not going to do that, but you're right. There's a certain portion where the township will make them do low income. I don't think they're at that point. And I think they're shrinking the houses down now because of the turnaround. They're still, like Ali said, they're already in violation of setbacks and everything else in parking. Once you put the parking places in place, there's no way they're going to be able to turn around and do things like that. So, and we haven't seen an official plan for the 23 houses. We've only seen like an artist rendering of what it may look like. It's some, I mean, builders throw up there, who knows? We don't even know the height requirements. You don't know any of that stuff. There's a height requirement for fuel tanks. They're trying to put it up 1.5 stories in the air, and there's supposed to be bollards around it. There's no bollard. There's all kinds of little discrepancies and all, but it's all safety stuff that we're concerned with that he's picking apart.
Pat, it's Lynn Bullock. I just have a quick question. Did they say whether if they were to put this restaurant in, would it be seasonal or year round, or have they even brought that up?
Never brought it up, never brought up hours, any of that stuff. That was questions we were going to, ask. Liquor license, things like that, club type things, bands, outside bar, outside. They do have it. If you look at the plans that were circulated, there's an outside bar, there's an outside seating area, and they don't count them in their seating count. So there's things like that they need to answer questions on. And again, they could build that building and just make it a box, just like the Manor House. And the Manor House, we could squeeze. I mean, we could put 20 people in there. Or we could put 200 people in there. Just because they get a little certificate says only 85 should be in here, or 150, whatever it is, they can put in. That's one of the things. There's a thing called, I forget how it's worded, but he said there's a thing with restaurants where basically the tables are bolted down. They're not flexible. You can't. It's not like flexible space. It's set. You go to bars sometimes or restaurants where the booths are, attached, and they can only put that many people in. So. That's some of the questions the lawyers are asking, like, why is it they're not going for this? Why are they going for square footage? That square footage can hold this many people. And if they put that many people and they're in violation, well, who's going to call them out on it? In the middle on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock at night. So,
yeah, I'm sorry. If it was a year round situation and, a good portion of the island is not there in the wintertime, then you're dealing with all kinds of people in and out that, especially if it's a 200 or 300 seat restaurant, what they're talking about, you're dealing with situations where you can have a lot of, crime possibilities, and you're going to have more policing out there.
Drunk driving.
Yeah, you're going to have more police out there. Actually,
Yep.
Middle Township needs to be aware of that.
Yeah, Middle Township's really short on police right now.
That's a question with fire personnel and police personnel. Some of the lawyers' questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Pat. Thank you, everybody. And what I think we could do for some of the individual things like events and all that, we can have a meeting with the trustees and the officers, and we can hash out some of the little particulars about that. And then we can come to what we think is best for, how to, I'm certainly willing to advise on how to make all these things happen for the website. It's just that, I'm trying to, I'm getting so much support now from the people on this committee that I don't have to take this active a role. So, but I wasn't hoping on so many things going away. So hopefully a lot of steps that we've all together taken to move forward to be more profitable, especially if we're looking at an increase in expenses on building repairs and stuff like that. We don't need to be taking away revenue items. We need to be, increasing revenue items. So yeah, this is great. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody's hard work and so many people being here tonight. And next meeting, we'll be live and in person. And anybody that's around this weekend through the middle of the week and want to get some things done in the house, absolutely want to help out. All right. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to end the meeting for all. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
All right.
you.